Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Sunday, April 2nd, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. Toronto Raptors vs Charlotte Hornets. Picking the Hornets to cover might be fun if you're interested in seeing if a lineup full of G League players can play with legitimate NBA players. Otherwise, your best bet is to just bet on the Raptors and lay the points. Charlotte is no longer in contention for a playoff spot, while Toronto is competing with a level of self-respect the Hornets no longer have. Besides, the Raptors have been playing well lately, winning 3 straight SU and ATS before a tough loss to a very good Philly team on Friday. Our team pick is the Toronto Raptors minus 13 points. Down the stretch, neither of these teams has been consistently putting up big scoring numbers, if at all. Toronto has not scored over 118 points in their last 6 games and has scored 11 or less in half of those. Charlotte scored whopping 91 points in their last game, the third time in the last 7 games that they failed to reach 100 points. The Raptors' defense should do well to keep the Hornets in check. They should also be able to control the pace of the game, and dunksandthrees.com ranks them 25th in the NBA in that department, leading to what should be a slow and low score. Combined, these two teams have had 78 of their games go under this season. The under is 4-2 in Toronto's last 6 and 6-1 in Charlotte's last 7. Take the under. Memphis Grizzlies vs Chicago Bulls. Memphis has played well of late, winning 8 of their last 9 games as they bounced back to split their 2-game set with the Clippers. The Grizzlies are still dealing with some injury issues with Adams and Clark missing in action. Chicago has pushed into the final spot in the play-in tournament, but they'd like to move up given the fact that if they reach 8th place, they'd at least have 2 cracks at making the field. Memphis has the better depth and enough superstar talent with Morant leading the way to take care of business, even on the road. Take the Grizzlies to earn their 9th win in the last 10 games. Our team pick is Memphis Grizzlies minus 2 points. For the year, Chicago stands 19th in the league in scoring offense with an average of 113.4 points per contest. The Bulls are 21st in rebounding as they collect an average of 42.5 boards a night, while they are 20th in assists by handing out an average of 24.5 dimes per contest. Chicago is 8th in scoring defense as they allow an average of 112.2 points per game this season. Zach LaVine is leading the team with 24.9 points per contest on the year. Demer DeRozan contributes 24.9 points, 4.7 rebounds plus 5.1 assists a night, while Nikola Vucevic, 17.7 points, 11.1 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and Ayo Dosunmu, 8.7 points, each are valuable options. Alex Caruso, Kobe White, Javon Green, Derrick Jones Jr., Andre Drummond and Patrick Williams, 10.1 points, 4 rebounds, are looked at to provide valuable minutes as well. As a team, Chicago is 3rd in the league in field goal percentage as they knock down 49.1% of their shots on the year. The Bulls are 29th in the league by knocking down 10.5 three-pointers per contest, while they stand 11th by hitting 36.6% of their attempts from beyond the arc on the year. Our total pick is over the total. Portland Trail Blazers vs Minnesota Timberwolves. By far, the Wolves come into this game as the much more desperate team. Portland has packed it in for the season and will be without 4 of its regular starters. Meanwhile, the Wolves have lost 2 straight games and can't lose another with the standings so bunched up in the West. Towns' return has certainly helped a poor rebounding team on the glass and opened up the Minnesota offense. In the last 10 meetings between these two teams, the Wolves are 6-4 overall and 6-4 ATS. Minnesota is 6-0 ATS in the last 6 games at home versus Portland. Portland will continue to struggle from the offensive end without 4 of its starters, and Minnesota should thrive with matchup advantages all over the court. Our team pick is Minnesota minus 16.5 points. These defenses have both been struggling as of late, as Portland is giving up 124.8 points in their last 5 games, while Minnesota is scoring 110.3 points in their previous 4 games played. Both teams are really shooting the 3-ball well, as the Kings are 8th in the sport with a 37.3% from beyond the arc, while the Trailblazers are 10th in the NBA with a 36.7 3-point percentage. The over has hit in 17 of the last 25 games between these teams played in Minnesota, so go with over here. Utah Jazz vs Brooklyn Nets. The Nets have won 3 of their last 4 games, including a 124-107 victory at home versus the Atlanta Hawks, 38-39 Sioux, second in Southeast Division. Michael Bridges has stepped up his game since the trade of Kevin Durant, scoring 42 points to lead the Nets. Brooklyn, who took a slim 4-point lead into halftime, outscored the Hawks 42-24 in the third to put the game out of reach. The Nets outshot Atlanta, 55.7% from the floor versus 42.9% for the Hawks, and were hot from outside, hitting 45.5% from three-point range. The defense limited Atlanta to only 21.6% shooting from beyond the arc on the night. Guard Dejounte Murray led Atlanta with 21 points in the loss. Brooklyn padded their lead in the race for the 6th playoff seed in the Atlantic Division by beating the Hawks on Friday, but the Heat are still close on their heels, and every game counts for them. The Jazz still have a shot at the final playoff spot in the West and are 2 games behind the Thunder for that spot, so both Brooklyn and Utah both have ample motivation to play hard the rest of the way out. After dropping 5 straight in mid-March, Brooklyn has been hot, winning 3 of their last 4 games straight up, but are still struggling against the spread. They have lost 7 of the last 8 games against the spread and are 1-5 versus the spread in their last 6 home games. Utah has performed well against the spread in March, winning 3 of their last 4 games Austrian shillings and 9 of their last 12. They have won 7 straight games against the spread away from their home arena. Utah's offense currently ranks 6th overall in the NBA in scoring, and their efficiency has kept them in games late on the road. Look for these trends to continue. Take Utah with the points on the road on Sunday. Utah has the 6th highest scoring offense in the league and has gone over the point total in 9 of their last 11 games overall and 6 straight on the road. Their opponent has scored at least 120 points in 6 of their last 7. Their game with the Celtics on Friday went over the point total despite the Jazz missing several key scorers due to injuries. The Jazz currently ranks 11th overall in pace of play. Brooklyn has gone over the point total in 5 of their previous 7 games and 3-1 in their previous 4 home games. The Nets' offense has been clicking lately, scoring 123 or more points in 3 of their last 4 games. Most signs point to a higher scoring affair between these teams. Take the over. San Antonio Spurs vs Sacramento Kings. I really wanted to take the Spurs here before I saw the injury report. Keldon Johnson is doubtful, and most of their key players are out, doubtful or questionable. Was tanking in the CBA that was just completed by the NBA and players. If Memphis loses their game on Sunday, the Kings would be 1 game off of 2nd place. There is something still to play for, and the crowd will be nuts in this incredibly one-sided affair. Shame, but I just don't see mostly G League caliber players covering this game. Our team pick is Sacramento minus 15.5 points. Both teams rank poorly in defensive statistics. In fact, Sacramento and San Antonio are the bottom 2 teams in the league in field goal defense. Maybe that's why they've averaged a combined total of 240 points per game across their 3 previous meetings this season. San Antonio posted low point totals in recent weeks against Boston, Minnesota, and New Orleans, but those teams boast 3 of the NBA's best defenses. Against all other recent competition, the Spurs' offense has been just fine. Outside of those 3 opponents, the over has hit in 6 out of the last 7 games for the Spurs. Dunksandthrees.com ranks San Antonio 3rd in the league in terms of pace, which gives me confidence that they will try to keep pace with Sacramento. The Kings' defense won't present much of a threat to stop them. And nobody is slowing down the Kings. Give me the over 243.5 points. Washington Wizards vs New York Knicks. The Knicks haven't locked up the playoffs yet, but they will with a win here. A victory will also allow New York to breathe a little, as they are close to locking in on the number 5 spot. As for Washington, I have no faith that they will show up Sunday or that they even want to play in spot. It has yet to look like it. Washington is just 3-9 in their last 12 games, and 6 of the last 7 losses have been by double digits. The Wizards won't fare well against a Knicks team that is rolling and will have an energized crowd at Madison Garden behind them. Our team pick is New York Knicks minus 9.5 points. This should be another New York Knicks game with another scrimmage-like feel to it, as there won't be any defense played on either side. Neither side has any incentive to grind it out on defense most possessions down the floor, and padding the stats late in the year never hurts an individual's contract negotiations. New York has already been an over team at home this year, with a 22-17 OU record at MSG, while Washington's on a 5-2 OU in their last 7 overall, as they've allowed at least 111 points game in each of their last 8 games. The Knicks should be able to hit 120 plus rather easily with the style I expect them to play, and seeing little resistance from Washington, and as long as the young guys on the Wizards don't collectively look like they are a bunch of bricklayers out there, Washington should be able to do enough to get up and over this number. Take the over. Dallas Mavericks vs Atlanta Hawks. Dallas has struggled in the second game of back-to-back situations, and they have sputtered on the road this season. The addition of Irving didn't pay the kind of dividends that the Mavericks were hoping when they brought him in to pair him with Doncic. This could be problematic for the Mavericks as they face an Atlanta team that is fighting for their own playoff position at this point in time. It's fair to say that both teams have underachieved when it comes to putting games in the win column this season. In crunch time, you have to take the home team as they have the rest advantage, the crowd behind them, and with Dallas's struggles away from home, it's impossible to have faith in them here. Our team pick is Atlanta Hawks -3 points. The Hawks enter this contest fourth in scoring offense by averaging 117.9 points per game. Atlanta is 10th in rebounding by collecting 44.2 boards a night, while the team stands 19th by dishing out 24.8 assists per contest. Atlanta is 25th in the league in scoring defense, as they allow opponents to score 117.9 points per game this season. Trae Young leads the team with 26.3 points and 9.9 assists per game this season. John Collins puts up 12.9 points plus 6.5 rebounds a night. DeAndre Hunter chips in 15.4 points a game, while Dejounte Murray pours in 20.5 points, 5.3 rebounds and 6.1 assists a night. Clint Capella, 12 points, 11.1 rebounds, AJ Griffin, Onyeka Okongwu, Saddiq Bey, 13.8 points, Jalen Johnson, Aaron Holiday and Bogdan Bogdanovic, 13.8 points, are key rotation pieces for coach Quinn Snyder. Atlanta is 9th in the league in field goal percentage by hitting 48.1% of their shots from the floor this season. The Hawks are 25th in threes per game as they hit 10.7 per contest and stand 20th in three-point percentage as they hit 35.3% of their attempts from beyond the arc. Our total pick is over the total.